Hey peeps, how are you? Hope you're well. I know the angle and the lighting is weird today. It is what it is. I was hoping to get more light, and actually, I have all of the lights on in my room right now. But if you live in the Pacific Northwest, you'll know that pretty much starting in November all the way through February, basically 4 months, we have 4 months of nothing but awful weather, rainy, darkness, blackness. That's what it is to be in the Pacific Northwest at this time of year. It's just kind of ugly. You see these windows behind me? I mean, what you're seeing through those windows isn't a mirage. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now, and it's dark. It's not like it's not like it is in Alaska where you have like 3 hours of daylight every day, but this is what it is in the Northwest at this time of year. It just kind of sucks. So I know the lighting is bad and it's blurry and I look a little blurry, but you guys don't watch my videos to look at this face anyway, do you? You watch my videos and look at my videos to stare at shit like this. And I know that's a great glare bouncing off of it. I apologize for that. I'm doing my best here, all right? But this is something I definitely want to discuss. And this video will probably be relatively brief, but I did want to talk about this because this is one of my all-time favorite albums. This is one of those videos where I'm going to talk about an album that I deeply love, and I'm at risk of doing this video to very few people who will watch this. I usually try to do my videos, I try to cover a band or an artist or an album that I know is going to get a lot of views. But every blue moon, I do an album very selfishly for my own personal reasons. This is one of those videos. I fucking love Squarepusher. I think Tom Jenkinson is a genius from another planet, and I don't use that term lightly. I do think he is a musical genius, and this is my favorite album from him. And I don't say that lightly. This is one of my all-time favorite artists, and this is my favorite album from him. This is a big album for me, and they just released a 20th anniversary edition, as you can see, or not see, as blurry as that is. Hope you can see that. And I wanted to talk about this, and I will do a video about my new releases. This was part of a bunch of new releases I bought. I know I promised you some new releases, a new release video. I will do that, but I wanted to pull a few of the things I bought in my last batch of new records and dedicate my own video to them because I feel very strongly about this album. And I'm going to do maybe one or two others from the last pack of records I got because I feel very strongly about them. I've already done a Squarepusher video. I don't even remember what was the album. I don't even remember. I know I've done another Squarepusher video, maybe even two. Fucking love this guy. Other than LFO, this is my favorite all-time Warp artist, and he's a close second. I know I've already waxed lyrical many times about how much I love LFO, how I think they're the signature Warp artist. I think Squarepusher is right behind them. And I'm including everybody. Aphex, Autechre, Boards of Canada. By the way, side note, how many of you pre-ordered the Aphex Twin box set, and how many of you got an email today telling you that it had been shipped? Yeah, you know that video's coming, baby. Oh, I'll definitely do a video on that. The new Aphex Twin box is on its way, fuckers. That's right. And it's about fucking time. It's about a month and a half late. I'll get into all that when I get it. Hopefully next week. I should be getting it next week. Anyway, back to Squarepusher. Other than LFO, this is my favorite Warp artist, man, and that means he's one of my favorite artists of all time. This is my favorite record of his. The fun thing about Squarepusher, I know, is that many people have different favorites from him, and it's all legitimate. I have days where I feel like maybe some other of his albums are my favorites, but for the most part, this is my favorite album from him. I really love Ultravisitor. By the way, this is Ultravisitor, if you hadn't figured that out yet. I love Ultravisitor because it's a great example of everything he does well. He does drum and bass very well. He does techno well. He does ambient well. He does jazz well. He does funk well. He does experimental well. And a lot of times he would kind of focus on one of those vibes. I mean, he'd always be touching on all of them with every album he did. But there are a couple of his albums where he kind of it's a big sonic stew where he's kind of touching on all of the things he does well. He's also a virtuoso bassist. And so, but it's hard to get all of those elements on one album. Here you get it, I think. This is just my opinion, okay? As always, this is my channel and my opinions. That's cool if you disagree, but in my opinion, Ultravisitor is the best example of all of the things that Squarepusher does well. It's all here, all of it. An Ultravisitor, you get everything I just mentioned, and it all flows and works together on this. God, this is a great album. It's absolutely one of my favorite albums. I know I drone on and on about industrial music and I just did a Cure video a few weeks ago and I talk about that stuff, but all of that shit pales in comparison in how I feel about Squarepusher. This dude, he's my spirit animal. And I'm not even a spiritual person at all. But I understand what people mean when they use terms like that. This guy is my animal. I fucking love this guy. When I hear his music, it speaks to me. It brings something out in me that I didn't know was there otherwise. He is a master at what he does. And if you have to sum up what he does, he just makes brilliantly original, individualistic music. Now, that can come off as trivial, but I use those words in the very most traditional sense. I think this guy is a true individual in a sea of copyists. Even some artists on Warp that are trying to recreate something else. This guy came, Tom Jenkinson came to our planet from whatever planet he's from. He came to planet Earth and created a sound and a mood and a vibe that is all his own. Nobody sounds like this guy. Nobody. Nobody has the same talents. Nobody has the same vision. And Ultra Visitor is the most brilliant example of that. Let me stop showing you the cover because I know that glare is really ugly. I'm really sorry for the video quality here, guys, but you're getting the gist. If you've never heard Ultra Visitor, seriously, man, go check it out. If you trust my opinion about anything, you need to go check this out. Now, the I do have this original vinyl from Warp that came out 20 years ago. By the way, the pressing is really good. I am not a huge fan of Bleep, which is which is the service, Bleep is basically the online store that Warp uses to ship all their items and shit. I'm not a fan of Bleep. Um, they constantly delay releases. They don't pack things very well. Their communication is really bad. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Bleep, especially as a customer from the olden days in the 90s when they used to be called Warp Mart. Warp Mart used to be the best place to buy records on the internet, period. If they had delays, they would send you free shit. They'd send you free records and posters and stickers. There was always a bonus somewhere. Nowadays, they just delay your shit and then they throw it in a cheap cardboard box and ship it out to you, and you get it damaged, and then you reach out to them and they ignore your requests. And Bleep kind of sucks. And of course, somebody is texting me obsessively the second I start this video. Why would that not happen? Excuse me for all the beeping there. Anyway, I'm not a fan of Bleep, but one thing they do well, or I should say Warp does well, this isn't Bleep, but Warp does a really good job of reissuing their records. Their records are always very well done. The presses are always very faithful to the original presses. They do a good job with the actual records themselves. They always sound good, they're mastered well, everything kind of comes together well. So while Bleep sucks, Warp does a pretty good job of their vinyl pressings. It's nice. And Ultra Visitor is no exception. This, as far as I can tell, This reissue is exactly like the original issue. I was holding it up to my original vinyl issue of this, and I didn't see any differences. It's pressed exactly the same. The sound quality is the same. The inner sleeves are the same. The labels are the same. Everything's exactly the same. So if you're pining away to maybe get an original vinyl copy of Ultravisitor, I wouldn't do that. I would just get this. Get this 20th anniversary. This vinyl, this record is exactly the same as the original press. I can't spot any differences. It sounds and looks exactly the same. So nice job, Warp. This is a record you need to be treating with the utmost respect, and they did treat it very well. This was my main purchase point. I don't normally buy reissues, but because I love this album so much, I did pull the trigger and pick this up. And this was the part that I was most interested in. Venus number 7 maximized. Bonus tracks. EP tracks from the time. Venus number 17 is a 12-inch that he put out at the time, which is fucking brilliant. And there's some bonuses on here as well. And you get the old school Warp label. And this is what Venus number 17 looks like. It's got the purple, old school purple Warp sleeve. But they put some bonuses on here. Now, if you're an Ultra Visitor fan, I have a feeling you probably already picked up this 20th anniversary edition. Why wouldn't you? This makes it worth it. This is a solid press, too, man. It sounds fantastic. Those original tracks you got on this 12-inch are here, plus some extras that you haven't heard before. This was the bonus to me, and I am happy to have this. And it sounds fantastic. It's an excellent pressing. It's basically a full album's worth of material here. And when it comes to Squarepusher, is there anything better? Having a full album's worth of material as a bonus? Hell no. I think I spent $40 for this. So you can decide whether or not you want to spend $40 for this. But for someone like me who considers this to be one of his favorite albums and it comes with a bonus and gets a nice deluxe 20th anniversary package, I think $40, that's a drop in the bucket, man. I don't mind throwing a couple of 20s down for this. There's that. You also get a booklet. Nice touch. It's nothing too fancy. They just, shoved a floppy little booklet in there of Tom Jenkinson photographs. You get stuff. I won't show you all the photos. If you're going to buy this, I want you to be surprised to some degree. But, you get the gist. It's about 16 pages long or so. Nice big full color photos. That is a bonus. Pretty nice. So you get this, which did not come with the original vinyl issue. You get this, which did not come with the original vinyl issue. And of course, you get this, the full double album. Inner sleeves, labels, and music looking exactly the way they did on the original press. All wrapped up in this little slipcase. This is a slipcase too. It's kind of hard to see, but it's open on both sides. It doesn't have a spine. It has a spine on the top and the bottom, but each of the sides are open. You see my eye? No? Anyway, two open sides. So I don't know how I feel about that. I guess it would have been nice to have a spine, but whatever, who cares? You get the music, and that's all that matters. Ultra Visitor. How I love this record. I can't believe this has been in my collection for over 20 years now. Time flies, y'all. I can't even believe it. As you can see from the clock on my wall, time flies. It goes by really fast. And because of that, you should go pick up this album and enjoy it because time does go by very fast. And you should enjoy as much in life as humanly possible. And one of the greatest albums that we have in this life that we're trying to enjoy is this Ultra Visitor. I envy those of you who have never heard this. because this is something special. And if you don't agree with me, you're just wrong. Dead wrong. Tom Jenkinson, an alien from another planet. Go worship him. Later.